Welcome to the workshop. Today we're going to be delving right back into our Dogma cosplay. I know that the goal for me today is to set my first line of boning. Boning is zip ties. I would like to maybe add a few of the eyelets and then see if there's any material left to throw a second line of boning in it. The first thing that we need to do is get our zip ties. I'm going to grab 2 of them out. What you first want to do is cut off the pieces that are larger at the ends. We don't need those. We do need as much length as we can get, so be careful with that. Now that we have our 2 zip ties cut to length, we are going to burn the edges because it just rounds itself out. So I'm trying to find a way to slide this in. And how far down does it go? It goes pretty far, but it doesn't give us our full length. I think I have a solution. Since boning normally runs the entire length of the corset, and mine does not, we're going to use this. And it needs somewhere, if it is too short, it needs somewhere to sit. Where I am choosing to have it sit is right along the line, bottom edge on the side of the vest to this bottom edge on the side of the vest. And we're going to leave this little bit here flimsy. That's also going to give my tum-tum a little bit of extra coverage. Big girls, you know what it's like. Just any extra coverage we're going to keep. And now is when you really need that tailor's chalk. So we're going to take our zip tie, slide it in the top until it touches the mark that we've made. What we're going to do is use our fingers and slide the zip tie all the way to the edge. And this is where we are going to run our tailor's chalk. Boom. We're going to do that to the other side. This is something I learned pretty early on, thank goodness, in my trial and error of tailoring, is that if you put boning or something in, it not only takes up the width, but the height as well of that zip tie. So we could have gone down the entire thing and marked off however wide those zip ties are. However, it wouldn't have taken into account the height. And you may think it's such a small difference, but it is a huge difference when you're trying to force that boning down a tiny little seam that the seam wasn't built to withhold. Now, I did mark the inside previously. I went back through and marked the outside too, because the outside is actually what we're going to be sewing. I'm going to start at the bottom because this is where we're going to put the zip tie. Once you have your little stitch that is going to secure the bottom of the zip tie, right along the edge of that blue line, we're going to sew. Is it time consuming? Yes. Is it going to be worth it? Also, yes. So now that we've got to the end, we want to slide our zip tie all the way to the bottom. Once the zip tie is all the way to the bottom, then we can use our marks and there we go. I mean, it's not perfect, but it works. Same to the other side. Beautiful. What I got for this is an eyelet set. Gives you little directions. You put this bottom piece underneath it with one of these pieces sitting on top. You put the fabric down and then you use this rounded end here to hammer down. Now let's figure out where we're going to put our eyelets. It looks like approximately 1 inch apart. So I'm going to start taking my seam ripper all the way through. Right here. And you can see where the eyelets are supposed to be on the back. Now that we have our holes where we want our grommets to be, we can go through and open them up a little bit more. Just like that. We're going to place this side up. You're going to put the center of the ring so I can see it. Hi, guy, you're right there. This side that has the nub. And you're ready. You're all done. It's that easy. Now we're going to go through and we're going to open up all the holes that we've already made. A seam ripper is great for these. It has that little razor blade at the bottom, but you want to make sure that you don't go in with it because it will shred your material. Nice. I drastically underestimated the skill needed to put in these eyelets. Not sure what made me think that I was capable physically of hammering all these eyelets in, of really doing that work. That family got involved and finished that for me. I got a few in and then my arm started spasming really bad. It's hard for me to do repetitive motions like that, so unfortunately we had to pass the hammer torch on. That's all right. We have gotten to here. What we are going to do now is run a second seam on the other side of these eyelets. Even though my eyelets are not exactly perfect, I want to run this seam as close as I can get. And this is another good time to use your tailor's chalk. Now we're just going to run a simple seam right along where we marked. Now with this side, you want to make sure you put that thing down, flip it, and reverse it. This is what we have accomplished so far. Not shabby at all.